Hello and welcome to Moving Parts Gaming. I am Riley and this is Fallout 1. Last time we left off, we had just cleared out Shady Sands, taken everything that wasn't nailed to the floor. I know I said that we were going to go take on the Radscorpions with Ian right here. Slight change of plans. I think we should go take on Vault 15. That was that's our main objective right now, to go see if the water chip is still there. Or if we can get the water chip from it. That dungeon, that kind of quest line should be a little bit easier than the Radscorpions, and let's just say I have my reasons for wanting to do the vault first. I don't want to spoil anything or anything like that for people who haven't played this game before, so I don't want to say too much at this point. Alright, so now we are in the fast travel screen. Since going to Shady Sands, we've also got Junktown, which is way down, nope, not where I wanted to go, which is way down here. Raiders, which is this circle right here. Now we're heading off to Vault 15, and we have a random encounter. Yep. Yeah, this is death. This is what death looks like. This is a very easy random encounter to get. Like, at this point in the game, that is equivalent to an anvil falling on your head. We don't have the weapons or the ability to fight 3 or 4 Radscorpions that close to us, so I'm just quitting low because that was death. I think in editing I'm going to add like a nice little kill counter for me and just say that this is Riley 3 because like all that was left was a formality. We weren't going to survive that. Somehow I only have 10% shot to hit. I could try to take a few steps closer to the Radscorpion to shoot it. I don't want to try to waste... Maybe I can do an aimed shot. Yeah, 10%. When it tells you 10%, it's normally going off what's the highest probability on the aimed shot. So that doesn't help us at all. Maybe we can take a few steps back and then just let the rest of our action points go into our armor class and hope that we can tank a hit or two if we need to. Maybe Ian can get a shot off. Yeah, Ian has better aim than us. Oh wow, that went a lot easier than I thought it would. And we're getting really close to the next level too. So we stopped at the location that's supposed to be Vault 15 and there's just a shack. My shift magic powers say there's no items around, but there is a ladder. This is an old shack. It is barely standing and seems to have been looted long ago. But let's go down the ladder and see what we find. And there it is. There is the vault. Let me just tap A real fast and go into combat mode. It's full of rats and other enemies. What's this? No, what do I see? It's a she. Okay. What is it? I think that's a pig rat is what the game calls them. I think. And we hit and killed. And that's a level. Let's go ahead and see what we got. 23 skill points. This is only level 2, so no perk. We'll get the first perk at level 3. And I have no idea what I'm going to choose for that. I want to put a few points to get science up to 40. There's a skill check I want to pass. That's coming up very soon. What else can I do? I can do 4, 4, and 8. Leveling skills works a lot like it does in like a D&D kind of game, where you get double points for choosing a skill that you've tagged, but only single points for other skills. So you get a huge reward for sticking to a class, and you are really handicapping yourself if you try mixed classing. But there's not much to really try to mixed class for in this game unless you are trying to do a very specific build or a very specific run. So that is us. That's Riley 3.0 level 2. Let's keep going. I'll go ahead and turn on combat to see where my next set of enemies are. There's no one close, so I'll go ahead and end combat and move forward. I'm going to try to use the same hit and run tactics from before to try to take out these guys. Yep, we got initiative and got to take a nice point blank shot. Now I'm just going to stand here. And the other rat doesn't see us. Oh, I hit the wrong button, but he missed, so that's not too bad. hit for 9 points and killed, and we don't have enough action points, so I'm just going to end my turn. And the other rat doesn't... Oh, there, now he sees me. And he uses up too many of his points to be able to attack, but gives me a nice shot. Hit for 5 points, but don't kill. I'm going to do a bit of run and gun, or hit and run, so he has a... Oh, yeah. He wouldn't have the opportunity to hit me. Also, Ian, in the Fallout community, Ian's known for shooting you in the back, so having a melee enemy close to you is a bit of a liability, at least when you have companions around. The reverse works for you as well. It's not unusual to accidentally hit your companions, or even just random civilians, if you miss. Like, especially in the vanilla version of the game, that's the most common way of getting Child Killer, is to get in a fight, because there's a few gunfights in actual towns. And if there's just a stray bullet that hits a kid, that's the Child Killer perk for you, and you end up with bounty hunters going after you at that point. Ian's a much better shot than we are, which I guess is appropriate because I'm guessing they don't do a lot of guns training in the vault. I was reading that second message down there and was a little confused. Run away! Did we hit? Okay. Yeah, I was reading the patch notes for the mod that I'm using, and it was a lot more thorough than I thought it was. Like, there's a lot more quality of life stuff that I didn't know it included, and there's a lot of stuff we've already passed and already seen that has been changed since the original, since the at least the vanilla version that you can get on Steam. But I would definitely say to play with the mod. I think it does make a pretty big... Oh god, that's a big outline. It does make a pretty big difference, and it's all just quality of life improvements. And it's quality and life improvements that come from Fallout. Wow, Ian destroyed that thing. Did he get 4 shots off? Yeah, it's all quality of life improvements that were implemented in Fallout 2. So it's not like it's cheating. It's really just playing... I consider playing the game the way it's intended. And there's a lot of bugs in this game. Or at least in the vanilla version. Are we still in combat? Okay. Yeah, going into your inventory or raiding dead bodies counts for action points in combat. Was critical? Yep, that was a critical. When you score criticals, you get special bonuses like that. That was a stun, I think, so I think the mole rat lost its turn. I'm not 100%. But you can do stuff like really reduce people's, a bit like accuracy is the main one, really. Or knocking them to the ground. If you get a good body shot or a shot to the leg, you can knock people to the ground and they have to spend some of their action points to get back up. Or even knock them out cold, so they're just unconscious. And then you're kind of left to finish them, which is gruesome, but it's an option. Just a few more rats to go. Okay, so we've gone through, Ian and I, and we've killed the rest of the rats just using that classic run and gun strategy that I talked about before. I took a few points of damage. Let's see if I can't heal myself some. First aid on self. And we're just going to trade a little bit of time for a little bit. Oh, and we failed to heal anything, so that's great. But that's really the process of trading time for health. But we can also do stim packs too if we need to. Pick up a few flares. I think they're worth 40 caps, so not an insignificant amount. And I'm using shift to find the wall safes. Okay, that's good equipment right there. There's not a whole lot else. It's a lot of broken computers that you can try to interact with, but there's no way to fix them or do anything like that with them. Now, over here you see an elevator shaft. This elevator shaft cannot be descended without a rope. Luckily, if you remember, we picked up a rope. We picked up 2 ropes when we were scavenging Shady Sands. So we just used 1 rope right there. And now you see there's a little rope hanging down, and we can use it to go down and descend one level. Make sure I pull the gun back out, because there's a whole lot more rats down here. And a whole lot more loot, too. So it looks like we have two big guys over here. It's 20% shot to hit, and I missed. Did I miss it? Oh god, this has gone bad. I'm gonna just run away now. Good luck, Ian. Yeah, that could have gone better. Could have gone worse, too. I healed 11 points, so if I do it one more time, it wouldn't be a huge waste. On normal difficulty, I've gone through this with Ian and been able to stab them all to death, but that was with a higher strength character, and like I said, not on hard. Hit for 5 points, so I could run or I could take the bonus to armor. I'm just going to run for it. Help me, Ian. Did Ian kill? Yep, Ian killed both of them. At this stage in the game, Ian is just going to crush everyone you're going to fight. I wouldn't worry too much about it, because you are going to get your chance to show off to him eventually. Because he doesn't stay as useful going into the later game. And there will be more companions as well. Now what do we have over here? This item is extremely hard to get because you basically have to look through 2 walls to find it. But what it is the first hunting rifle of the game. There it is. Semi-automatic, .223 caliber, single shot, but it has a minimum strength requirement of 10, but it also does a ton of damage. So that was minimum of 5, but I don't have a strength of 5, I have a strength of 3, which limits me to pistols right now. However, what I can do instead, come over to my big hitter over here, and give him, take that away, give you that. So I'm going to give Ian the big gun, with all my ammo for it. Then I'm going to go over and talk to him, talk to Ian. If we ask him what weapons he's skilled with, I'm a good shot with just about any sort of pistol, and I can use a submachine gun too. I also know how to handle a knife. He'll use anything you give him though, or he should use anything. Let's discuss combat tactics. Then you tell him to draw your best weapon. Sure thing. That's all for now. Then never mind. So now if we go over to steel and do that on him again. Yeah, there it is. So when you tell him to use the best weapon he has, what it does is that it unequips his current weapon, which then lets you take it off of him. Or I strongly suggest taking it off of him at that point, so his AI only has one weapon to choose from next time you enter combat. The AI in this game, if you're not careful, will love to get stuck using knives when it shouldn't. Ian's a lot stronger than I am, so I'm going to load him up with all of my heavy jump. Don't need that. Don't need that. I'll hold on to that. You can hold on to the Playboy. Okay, that should be that first room. Now we can keep moving. A rat's going to run over, but we should... I feel pretty confident now that we have Ian with the big gun. Big gun Ian, as you could call him. Ian's going to catch up, and the turn ends, or the combat ends because we don't perceive anyone. Oh, there it is. I guess this isn't as dimly lit as the first cave, because we're not having as much of a problem finding people. Oh, yep. There it is. Ian's got out the big gun and blew him away. 30. Okay. So I'm going to walk up close and pop them in the back. And that was only 5 points of damage. Ian's going to run in. Missed. I took 3 points of damage. Not a big deal. And then Ian blows him away. My turn again. I can take 3 steps and then shoot the other one. Or I could shoot the other one if I didn't need to reload. Do I have enough points to shoot? No. Then in that case I'm going to run away. Was hit for 15 and killed. Good damage. And that's the end of combat, and we can grab some ammo. and that's ammo for the hunting rifle or the Magnum. Which is kind of appropriate because that's how it is in the other games too, where the hunting rifle ammo is the same ammo that the revolver, or one of the good revolvers, uses. I'm going to run over to you and shoot you, and miss. Then I'm going to run away. And Ian blows him away too for 34 points. Cave rats don't have that much health. But here we see a locker, and a very good locker at that, because that is going to be one more rope and our first set of armor. The very Mad Max armor. A black heavy leather jacket. You can't help thinking how badass you'd look wearing this, even in the scorching heat of the wastes. But now we're matching with Ian. Oh, not what I wanted to do. But if we were to... Can I look at him? He looks unhurt. He has a confident, relaxed stance of an experienced fighter. He's wearing, yep, a leather jacket. So he's wearing this kind of leather armor, same as we are. So we have matching sets. Our armor class has gone up a little bit. I'm feeling much more confident taking on the rest of this dungeon. Let's see, rat over there. Get a little closer, then how's my aim? That's not too bad. And I missed. And Ian hit from twice my distance. You see something in the darkness under the bed. Cave rat was critically hit. Oh, he scored a critical. That's cool. So the little log down here tells me there's something under the bed. I'll be able to check it out as soon as we kill the pig rat. Okay. Then end combat. Will you let me inspect the bed? I know I've interacted with that bed before. It might be a random event. I'm not 100%, but previously when I've looked at it like that, it's just said right away that there's nothing interesting about it. So I'm just going to continue because it's probably not important if there is anything. Oh, that's a nice bit of text to get. Unless it's been looted already, you think there should be an Uzi around here somewhere. That's an interesting bit of dialogue right there. Ow, that was a bad idea. Okay, so we've killed off all of the rats on the second floor. We've scored a nice bit of armor and a big gun, and we gave Ian the big gun because I'm too weak to use it. A little text box down here told me I should look around for an Uzi. Thankfully, I have my special shift abilities to inspect around and find items, so let's go ahead and do that. 223 full metal jacket. Nope, not that. Go over there. And then pick that up. That's 9mm. I don't think we have a 9mm gun. And then there's something else right there. Let's grab that, and it's a 9mm Uzi submachine gun. So let's check that out. This is an Uzi submachine gun, 9mm caliber. Amazing, it's still working condition. The Uzi was cheap, light, and rarely jammed, which made it a classic amongst drug runners during the early stages of the 21st century. Minimum strength 3. It has 45 out of 45 shots of 9mm ball ammo. It weighs 7 pounds. So let's go ahead. I think we can go ahead and use this. I don't know how, oh, I dropped it. I don't know how it stacks up damage-wise. Good thing I can just pick it back up again. I don't know how it stacks up damage-wise for the 10mm. Oh, okay. It tells us. So 6 to 12, range 25. Or 5 to 12. Okay, so the Uzi is basically the same, except a little bit better. So before we continue on, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my stim packs because I could use a little bit more health. And then just like before, if we look over here, we have an elevator shaft and we need a rope. Luckily, we picked up a rope in this room, so if you're planning on coming here, you only need to bring one rope from Shady Sands to actually enter. And I'd hate to go I'd hate to make it all the way out here, see that I need a rope, then have to go all the way back. Because every time you cross that stretch from Shady Sands to Vault 15, you're risking that Radscorpion encounter that I got the first time through. That sprite looks a little rough, right? The sprite for the Uzi. But now that we have an automatic gun, we have single shot, single aimed shot, burst fire, and we don't get a way to aim burst fire, but if we look at the action point costs, aimed 1 shot and burst costs 6, which was the same as aiming with the 10mm. Single aimed is, or single normal I should say, is action point cost of 5, which was the same as the 10mm, so we're really not missing out and really doing a little bit better. Hit for 7 points, that's pretty good. Then I'm going to get behind Ian. And Ian blows it away. And Ian runs off on his own. I don't think Ian's going to have a problem clearing out the rest of this floor by himself. I'm just going to do my best to stay caught up. Yeah, I can't hit anything, so I'll take a few more steps forward. I don't want to let... Oh, jeez. Let's check. I see doorway. He looks wounded. So I don't know what just straight wounded means for Ian. But I do want to keep a check on his health. I don't want to get Ian killed. So that hit for 7. And I might as well go ahead and end my turn there. Pig Rat was killed. Can I hit him? Let's try. And I killed that rat. It was kind of close to hitting Ian, but I risked it, and it paid off. So let's keep looking around. And there's a few more rats in here we can see. Yeah, 2 more right there, then 1 right on top of me. I shouldn't have a prop. Oh, God. I missed. I'm guessing I hit something metal over here, because that sounded like a bullet bouncing off something metal, right? A few more rats running at us. I'm going to go ahead and do a burst fire because I don't need those extra points. Oh, jeez. Was critically hit for 193 damage. And we did way more than knocking it around. Yeah, that is what happens if you are lucky enough to score a good critical hit on the same shot you kill. We just blew up that rat. Yeah, we really blew up that rat. And I don't have enough points to reload, so I might as well end my turn. But yeah, that's the special death animations that you get only every once in a while. I'll see if I can't get another one. But yeah, let's do burst on this big guy. Nope, just killed him. Good damage, though. I don't think it's really worth it, though. It does burn a lot of ammo. But we do have a lot of 9mm ammo, and the other 9mm guns kind of suck. Yeah, that's more 9mm ammo. I should also say that, oh, what's that? Cave wall, nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, I thought I saw something to interact with over here. We did find a lot of a lot more 10mm, 9mm ammo. Oh yeah, but, I have always run turned on, and the way to walk is to hold shift. So if I want to have these still lit up while I walk around, I have to hold shift, which means I'm going to walk. 90% of the time it has no effect on gameplay, but oh, looks like we found a ton of bombs. But yeah, 90% of the time it has no effect on gameplay, but you need to be walking to sneak. I'll see if I can't do that right now, actually. And we go into sneak by opening up our skill decks and hitting sneak. And now we hold shift, and that didn't even work. My sneak's pretty terrible anyways. That's a lot of enemies down there. Oh god. Oh, I was hit in the groin. Ow. Yeah, for a big thing like that, I'm going burst to make sure we put it down. Oh, God! Yeah, that's another one of those death animations. I think if you just blow through a certain health number when you kill them, that's how you get it. But that's what we'd be getting every time if we had Bloody Mess, which really takes away a lot of the fun of it. But yeah, we just tore off the top half of that bear-looking thing. Let's get a little bit closer. I can take 4 steps. Take a shot and miss. If you were looking at my message window, a whole bunch of text just exploded on the screen. I'll bring that back in just a second. I want to make sure we kill these guys. And he just tanked a few of my shots, but Ian's going to finish them off, and I just stepped away to the side to make sure Ian didn't hit me in the crossfire. So let's go ahead and end combat there. At this point, we've cleared off the kind of right half of the 3rd floor. We've stolen a few guns from the lockers, picked up a whole lot of ammo, picked up a bomb in that locker too. There's a nightstick, a crowbar right there. That's going to be a nice thing to have in the future. But there it is. The large amount of rubble blocking this corridor looks impressive. You don't think that it could be moved even with high-yield explosives. It seems that Command and Control Center is buried under even more rock. You'll have to look for the water chip elsewhere. So all the vaults in this game have the same layout, and this section over here would have been the Command and Control Center for the vault, where the Overseer hangs out and where the water chip is. However, as you can see, it was closed off by a cave-in, so we're not going to be able to get the water chip from this vault. So we're going to have to look elsewhere. Let's go ahead and clean out the rest of this vault before we start thinking about where else we can go looking for that water chip, because our mission's not over. This lead may have dried up, so to speak, but our mission's not over. We still need to make sure that the vault has water, and we only have how many days? 139 days left now. So we started with what, 150? I think we started with 150. That clock is ticking, and there's a lot of wasteland out there to explore. So I just killed a few of the extra rats that were hanging around in this hallway while I was just organizing my inventory a little bit, and popped 2 of them and got a new level. So we've leveled up twice in the process of clearing out and kind of raiding this vault. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see, we have Presence, Quick Pockets, Smooth Talker, or Swift Learner. Presence, you command attention just by walking into the room. The initial reaction of another person is improved by 10% for each level of this perk. Quick Pockets lowers the AP cost of going into your inventory during combat. A Smooth Talker has learned to increase their options in dialogue without understanding what they are talking about. Each level of this perk will increase your intelligence by 1 for the purposes of dialogue only. Then finally, Swift Learner. You are indeed a Swift Learner with this perk, as each level will give you an additional 5% bonus whenever you earn experience, best purchased at an early level. So let's look at the perks. So because I'm playing such a strange build, trying to play as myself, this isn't the normal perks I see when I hit this level, which like 100% basically, which means I'm going to have to go off the script a little bit of what I normally do. Presence doesn't get a whole lot of use in the game. I can't think of a single place where it's useful. Quick Pockets, it's good if it's pretty okay if this is the first time through this game for you and you're finding yourself pretty often unprepared in combat. So that's one option. That'd be one option for me, but because I've beaten this game before, I know it's around every corner at this point. I don't need Quick Pockets because I can always make sure that I'm prepared for something, except for an anvil in the shape of a Radscorpion. Smooth Talker, my intelligence is already at 9, so boosting it to 10, there's no skill check that's going to check for 10 instead of 9 intelligence. So this is completely wasted. Which leaves me with Swift Learner. In some of the other Fallout games, I'd say go ahead and take Swift Learner. It's a good choice. Like in Fallout 3 or the other 3D Fallouts, I'd say take Swift Learner because, you know, why not? It makes the game progress a little bit faster, I guess, or it makes you level up a little bit faster. In this game, I'm really not sure if it's worth it. Remember that you only get 7 perks, especially when if you're playing a actual normal people build, like the build I suggested at the start of this. I would say absolutely take Awareness. Awareness is my #1 pick of choice for the level 3 perk. What Awareness is, it basically lets you, when you examine people in combat, it tells you all of their current stats. So it tells you the actual number for their health out of their total health, what gun they're holding, and what armor they're wearing. That is invaluable, especially your first time through, and especially dealing with companions where you need to check what guns they're using and if they're doing okay on health, or if you need to make sure that they get a stim pack. It's really invaluable that way. I'm going to have to fly completely blind without it. I should do okay because I have a decent idea of how the companion AI works, so I should be okay in that respect. But it's going to be tough at times, and that means I'm going to be taking Swift Learner. Maybe it means I'll get to level 21 faster. I don't think I've hit level 21 in this game before, which is the cap, so maybe I'll have that. Awareness is by far my recommendation for level 3. If you're doing a melee unarmed build, Toughness is a backup option if you don't want to take Awareness. And like I said, Quick Pockets is great if you find yourself kind of ambushed frequently. But outside of those scenarios, Awareness is my #1. I'm going to take Swift Learner, hoping I can get to that level 21 in this game, like in this playthrough. And because my build doesn't give me the perk I actually want. So I'll go ahead and take that. And then I'll continue bumping. Let's bump Speech. No, let's bump Small Guns. I'll put 10 into that right away. Okay, so I put a few more points into Small Guns. I put a few more points into First Aid, and I put a few more points into Speech. As you can see, it looks like I'm getting really close to 100% in Small Guns. Same with First Aid and Speech. Now, if you're only used to playing the 3D Fallout games, this might seem a little bit odd, like I'm maxing out these stats this early in the game. I'm only level 3. The actual cap for skills is 200%. However, you don't get too many additional bonuses after that 100% mark. And for most skills, it really doesn't matter after, say, 70. So there's no point, except for your main combat skill, to go over 100%. So I'm likely to hit, I'm aiming for 150 on Small Guns, then 100 on First Aid and Speech. Then I'm going to start looking at a few other skills to start boosting, just to give you some idea of where I'm going. Let's go ahead and wrap up this vault, this dungeon, you could say. Run over here, and oh god, I didn't see him. Hit for only 6 damage, that's not good. Ian comes in and saves me, as he always does. I'll take 4 steps in this direction, maybe I can get a shot off. That's pretty low, I'll just hit. I'll end my turn. And I get the initiative, so I'm going to blow away this guy. Let's go ahead and do Burst, because I'm still having trouble putting these guys down in one hit. Can I not see him? Or am I in the way? Oh, I moved too far. That's not good. That was dumb of me. And he didn't see me somehow. Okay, so I have 9 action points, so I'm only allowed to take 3 steps if I want to do burst mode. And we blow him to bits. Big damage. Big death animation. You know, I said taking Bloody Mess would make these ones boring. No. I said taking Bloody Mess would make these ones boring. And I got a first aid book. Awesome. Okay, so I said it would make these things boring, but I'm doing so much damage with Burst Fire, you might think it is getting kind of boring. And I understand that, and I get it, but we're going to be fighting much bigger enemies very soon, where getting those big bloody death animations is a lot rarer and a lot harder to get. This might be the last dungeon to use rats, actually. I'm going to say it is. I want to say it is. I don't know off the top of my head. So skill books, we just picked up a first aid skill book. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, because we did, the Boy Scout handbook that we gave to Ian, that we have 2 of, is also a skill book. But the way skill books work in this game is that it calculates how far you are from hitting, I think it's either 70 or 90% in that skill, then divides that amount, that difference, by some number, and awards you that much in the skill for reading the book. So if your skill, like if your percent for a certain skill is 0, you would get a huge bonus from reading the book. But if your skill was, say, like 95, you would get 0, if anything, from it. For me, most of the books aren't worth holding on, aren't worth using, because they are worth, upwards of 50 caps. Some of them are worth up to 100 caps, depending on the book. So I think they're much better loot items, especially because they're such low weight as well. I'd much rather just grab them and sell them than try to get any kind of skills from them. Most of them, too, are in skills that I don't really use. My first aid's already too high to really get any use out of the first aid book. My outdoor skill, it's tempting, but I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of my outdoor skill. So I'm probably better off not using those ones. The only one, repairing stuff, might be a good one. I think it's Dean's Electronics. Might be useful, but we haven't seen one of those yet. And maybe Big Book of Science might be another choice. But for the most part, skill books aren't as useful as they are in other games. Especially because you end up with just so many skill points anyways. Nope, maybe, no. If you're standing right on top of an item, it's hard to pick it up. And I got 9 ball ammo. And I believe that's it for Vault 15, so I'll go ahead and meet you back at the top. And now we are back topside. Oh, not what I wanted. Reload. And end combat. Don't worry, Ian, I'm not about to blow you away. Alright, so we just cleared out Vault 15. We got a lot of good loot out of that. Some nice guns, a little bit of armor, a whole lot of flares, a book, some decent ammo, I guess. But what we did not find in there is the water chip, and that was our basically only lead at this point. So now we need to not panic. We have 130 days, so maybe we can work something out. But let's go ahead and go over and look at the map. What we know so far, so Shady Sands has kind of been a bust. No one's been able to help me out there. Same with Vault 15. However, we told Shady Sands that we'd help them with their Radscorpion problem. And also, I think we could also go back to the Overseer and kind of report back on our progress and let him know that Vault 15 was a bust, maybe ask him what we should do next. Other than that, we also know about Junktown and then the Hub, which are 2 areas down to the south over here. Maybe we can get more information out of them. Junktown, a lot of junk, so maybe we could find, if a water chip might look like junk to someone, so we might find it there. And the Hub's a big trading hub, so maybe traders trade in junk, so that's also an option. But I think that is going to be our goal for next time. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you again very soon. Stay tuned for next time where we go and take on the Radscorpions and then report back to the Overseer. Alright, see you then.